morning to you, Greenspring. Today is Monday, April 16th, and we've got a very exciting show for you today. We've got volunteer coordinator Kelly Luckshander, Kelly Luckshander here to tell us all about April.
Absolutely.
And April being National Volunteer Month.
Yes.
So let's dive right in, Kelly.
Let's dive right in. You know, you shouting, I feel your pain. It's allergy season, as you can hear, and you can't tell how loud you're being. So anyway, yes, so this week is home to National Volunteer Week. So this is national. Across the country, we're talking about volunteers, and we're trying to recognize their service. So it started on Sunday, yesterday, and we'll go through Saturday. And there's different kind of events all over the country going on. But we're focusing here at Greenspring specifically to just recognize our volunteers. And I was laughing because due to, you know, the illnesses and things, the Presidential Service Awards that usually take place earlier in the year happened last month, just a couple weeks ago. So it seems like I've been pumping up our volunteers and talking about them more than often, but I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy to be here again. So I want to go through kind of what we're doing to celebrate it here at Greenspring. So we're kind of taking away the volunteer week and making it volunteer month. You know, April is going to be our volunteer month. We're not leaving it to a week. So first thing I want to mention is in all registered volunteer cubbies, which by registered I mean I know that you volunteer and I have hours that you submit every month for volunteering. So that's how you become a registered volunteer. So anything that I'm saying, if you're not getting these notifications in your cubby, it's because I don't know you volunteer, so let me know. We can get into that later, but the first thing I wanted to show off is this little volunteer lanyard.
It's a very nice lanyard.
It's very nice, and it's very bold. If you're wearing it, people will know, wow, that person is a volunteer. You can't miss it. It says Greenspring Volunteer all over it in bright green. So volunteers, you would have seen it in your cubby, and it comes with this little plastic carrier. You can put your ID badge in if you'd like, or you can even unclip it and just put your badge directly on it. I know a lot of people have, you know, ribbons for the scholars or ambassadors of Garden Ridge or something, but you can just simply put your badge right on. I'll show that again. It's just a little clip, and you can clip your badge right to it.
Very cool.
Very cool. So I encourage volunteers, you know, you think, oh, I don't want to wear this all the time, Kelly. What are you doing? Wear it this week. This is our week, or at least for the month. Let's show off our big volunteer force. I have about 500 volunteers that are registered. And again, I know that there's people who are doing things that aren't telling me that you are, which is fine. You don't have to. Go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. But these are people that I know are volunteers and are submitting hours to me every month. So great work, everybody. I hope to see you out wearing your badges. And anybody, if you see somebody wearing one, you know, say good job. Thank you for what you do, because a lot of people are doing things either on this campus or off. So these volunteers are important.
That was my question. So, so your volunteers, are they volunteering here on campus, or is it, you know, off campus?
Yeah.
Make sure both, anywhere?
It's both. In the past, volunteers' hours were only counted if they happened on campus, but now we can report all of the hours because I submit them at the end of the year to get us these presidential awards. So whatever people are doing, it's either on campus or off, and a lot of people are doing both. Usually you don't find somebody doing just a little bit of something. They're very involved, these volunteers.
Wonderful.
So I will move on just in the sake of time. So I have three kind of big events that are happening for Volunteer Month, as I'm calling it. So one today, this is the kickoff. I didn't really count this, but we're having Village in Motion, and little do you know, maybe, Elliot, I'm about to take over at the half.
Kelly's going to take the throne. And
I'm taking the throne, and I'm going to have three of my very impressive volunteers in here to talk about what they do on campus. So that's a good kickoff, get started. But then this coming Friday, we have a couple exciting events. So one, we are going to have a presentation, excuse me real quick. We're going to have a presentation by the Alzheimer's Association, and it's called Healthy Habits for a Healthier You. So it's going to be kind of like tips for things that you can do to help with your memory loss, and making sure that you're doing all that you can to help your brain. There's even a free workbook that will be given out that you can use and work on in your daily life. So that's going to be April the 20th, this Friday, at 11 a.m. in the Village Square Acatink room. And this is open to everybody. So all of my registered volunteers did get a full, you know, formal kind of invitation to these events, but anybody is welcome. They're open for everybody on campus. So come out to that, learn a little bit about what you can do to help with your brain. On that same day, we're going to just keep it rolling. We're going to have a campus passion walk. Now, this is happening at 12:30 p.m. on Friday, April the 20th, and we're going to kick it off in the front of Town Center. But what's unique about this is that each community building that people will get to walk to will have a different information table from a different organization. Now, it's called a passion walk because these are organizations that people might have a passion for, so we're going to be having tables from the American Diabetes Association, American Heart Association, the Alzheimer's Association, and the Parkinson's Foundation for the National Capital Area.
Wow.
So there's a lot of information going on. You can walk to each building. There'll be a little healthy snack as part of it as well. And even we're going to have these bibs that if maybe that's not one of your passions, maybe you donate to, Habitat for Humanity or something else that you care about and you volunteer for. You can write it on a little bib, like a race bib, if you're running a marathon or something, or just walking around campus. But that'll be fun. So please, everybody come out. Staff and residents are welcome. So we're starting at 12:30 at Town Center. We'll have a little, talk about what's going on. So get there then. And then just get ready to walk.
That's an impressive lineup, and that's 12:30 on Friday?
Yep, 12:30. So Friday is really like a big day. And I also want to say what's been going on for the past month is a Souls for Souls shoe drive. You've probably heard about it or donated shoes. But for the past month, we've been collecting just any kind of shoes, gently used or new. And a lot of different buildings are collecting at the fitness center, dining services, pastoral ministries. They have boxes. But we have gotten so many shoes so far. I had a challenge maybe 2 weeks ago. I said, I want to fill my office with shoes. I'm getting what I asked for. I can barely get in there right now. I have shoes filled to the brim, but we still have time.
So where are these shoes going?
So they're going to this organization called Souls for Souls, and it's souls like the sole of your shoe, for souls, S-O-U-L.
Okay.
S. And it's a nonprofit organization, and what they do is they take the shoes directly to different areas with people who need the shoes. So the shoes are just going directly to people who need them. They're not being sold off, they're not being shipped somewhere. This company has direct areas that they go to and give out the shoes. So congratulations everybody, because we're doing it. But keep donating. We have until Friday. That's the end for the walk. And I hope we have an impressive showing, because we already do. I can barely get in my office.
Wonderful.
So last thing for Volunteer Month that I have is a big kind of finale reception, I'm calling it. So at the end of the month, Thursday, April the 26th, at 2 p.m. in the Hunters Crossing Conference Center, we are going to have a big kind of party. We have a speaker, Gina Lewis, and she's with the Governor's Advisory Board on Service and Volunteerism, and she's going to talk about how important volunteerism in your community is, and a little bit about her. She's a very interesting woman, so she's going to talk about what she does. And then after she speaks, we're going to have cake and punch and just celebrate what we do on campus. And I invite all volunteers to come, and also friends, anybody come. Let's just have a party. Let's get people together and just celebrate the rest of Volunteer Month.
So it's open to the public?
It's open to the public. Bring your friends. If you're a volunteer, wear your lanyard, show yourself off, and then everybody else, you can come too and maybe sign up, start telling me your hours, and become one of these volunteers that wear these badges.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So now what do you need in order? I have a volunteer lanyard, but I didn't wear it for the sake of the microphone, which I probably just bumped. But tell us about the volunteer lanyard. Like, how does one...
Yeah.
Any volunteer amount of hours you can get a lanyard?
Yes, any hours that you do. So even if you're doing maybe 2 hours a month, you won't qualify for a Presidential Service Award. That's okay. You're still a volunteer, and I want to hear about what you're doing, or if you'd like to do more, how we can support that.
Wonderful.
So you can get your own lanyard. If you don't have one yet, don't feel left out. It's just the people that I knew were volunteers. So if you were like, I didn't get one, let me know. You can call me. My number is 703-923-3154, my voice. Or
it's
send
that
me.
time of the season.
It's so bad. Or you can send me an email. It's my name, kelly.luckshander, which I guess is harder than it is, but at erickson.com. Or you can just go to the front desk and say, I need a volunteer form. And you can turn it right into the philanthropy slots at the front desk. So right now, that's the scholars box.
Okay, and roughly how many volunteers would you say you have?
Yeah, we have about 500 registered at Greenspring, which is pretty incredible if you think about it. That's about 25% people that actually turn in hours. And like I said, I know people don't always turn them in. You're doing things for people. Maybe you're putting together a card group, and you don't realize that that's volunteer work. Well, without you, calling people up or scheduling rooms, that group won't meet. You are volunteering to do that. So a lot of people are doing things that for them just seem like secondhand nature, or I'm just doing what I want to do. Well, you're volunteering, so turn in your hours, and it helps Greenspring to know this kind of stuff. But we're such an active community, so we like to show off the fact that we have all these people doing this kind of work.
Sure. And maybe, real quick, if we can, maybe
Sure.
tell us a little bit more about the Presidential Volunteer Dinner
Sure.
for some of our new residents and myself who are not
sure.
familiar with it.
So the Presidential Volunteer Service Awards is a national program, and what it does is it recognizes volunteers in communities over their amount of service for a year. Usually it's the past year. So they have different levels of awards, a bronze, a silver, and a gold. And it goes from having 100 hours gets you a bronze to 500 gets you a gold. So that's hours in a year, which is a big amount. But also they have a prestigious award called the Lifetime Service Award, and this is 4,000 hours or more of service in your lifetime. And at Greenspring we have so many, we have over 30 lifetime winners. But what's so impressive about that at Greenspring is we are only counting the hours that you've volunteered while you lived here at Greenspring. So we're not talking about hours that you've done. So all of these people have done all of this impressive work while living under this, huge roof at Greenspring.
You moved to Greenspring, you kind of pressed the reset button and
That's
started
right.
your volunteer hours over.
That's just because when we submit the hours, we have to be a certified organization. I have to be able to vouch for the hours that they've done. So it's unfortunate that we can't count. I'm sure you've had a lot of other hours, but it's only what I can, say, yes, they've done it.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is the start of a new chapter
Right.
in one's life. So,
Right.
there's nothing wrong with that.
So last year with the presidential awards, we had about 200 award winners. So we had a few people in our registered volunteers who didn't get to do it. And sometimes people aren't turning in their hours, or, I just encourage people to keep turning in their hours so we can put out these, exciting awards for our campus.
Okay, wonderful. Do you do any volunteer work here on campus?
Do I on campus? Oh man. Well, I do. I probably shouldn't say much, but I do volunteer with the play at the Greenspring Players. I will say that. I have to fill out a form and everything because I'm not on the clock, but I am what they call the general factotum, which is a fancy word for I pull the curtain and I get any last minute things done that they need on the night of the plays. But I have so much fun with them. That's a great group. So come see the play, everyone. That's my plug. In May, you can get your tickets soon. It's called Everybody Loves Opal.
Everybody Loves Opal.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. And you'll be the curtain person.
I'm pulling the curtain, so if there's a flub, you know who to blame.
Yeah, we'll be calling you.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, and I believe that you have some service award winners here with us for the next segment. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm going to have three distinguished, I'll call them guests, three different people doing different types of volunteer service. And I'm going to take over your seat and I'm going to talk to them about what they do because it's important. And I think for people to see what they're doing, you're going to say, hey, I know Joe. You're going to see Joe. I didn't know he did all that or something like that. So stay tuned. It's going to be exciting.
All right, sounds good. We'll be right back, Greenspring, with your Lifetime Achievement and Volunteer Award winners. Did I get that right?
Well,
So we'll be right back.
Hi, here at Greenspring, we're more than just residents who live here and staff who work here. We also are very involved in our communities outside these walls and inside. At Greenspring, we are volunteers. I'm Kelly Luckshander, and I'm the volunteer coordinator.
when I'm not at Greenspring, I volunteer at my church. I teach Sunday school for 3rd and 4th graders because I enjoy giving back and I enjoy working with children. I'm Sue Frankie. I'm a volunteer.
I volunteer as a line dance instructor. Why? Because I love dancing and it's my way of dancing and volunteering for the community. My name is John Carl and I'm a volunteer.
I volunteer at Greenspring in the joy of line dancing with John Carl and sometimes substitute for his classes because I have 20 years background in both line dancing and ballroom because of the great joy of it. My name's Linda Conlon. I'm a volunteer.
I volunteer at my church because they're a really important community to me. I'm Elena Keitel and I'm a volunteer.
Hi, I deliver mail at Garden Ridge because I meet so many nice people. I am Marge Crape and I am a volunteer.
Hi, Greenspring, I volunteer. My name is Tim Kelleher and I volunteer in the chapel.
Hi, I volunteer at Higher Level Sports, where we get student athletes to the next level, which is college. I'm Ebony Reed, and I'm a volunteer.
I don't like sitting around twiddling my thumbs, so I just get to it.
I'm Sally Bridget, and I'm a volunteer.
See, it worked. And that's a wrap. Hi, Greenspring. When I'm not directing here at Channel 6-1, I volunteer. As you know, we give 2 blood drives every year. We have one coming up next month, which I hope you will participate in. So come and join us. Be a volunteer. I'm Diane Gatsis-Havinga, and I'm a volunteer.
Okay, Greenspring. I've taken over now. I have a cough drop. I hope I can make it through. But now I have some interesting guests here. If we look at our beautiful panel of guests, I have Dr. Elaine Sorensen, I have Joe Harris, and I have Carla Harding to bring up the rear over there. So I asked each of you to be on here for different reasons. And I'm going to start off with you, Dr. Sorensen. Now, you have a lifetime award, which I mentioned earlier is 4,000 hours while living at Greenspring. And we talked about this. You might be on the verge of getting almost 3 lifetime awards.
At least.
12,000 hours, everyone. So when I thought about doing the show, I thought about you because we had just had these presidential awards and you received a gold, which is over 500 hours in a year. And you returned the pin to me and you said, "That's okay, Kelly. I have the only pin that I really need, which is the lifetime on my badge." And I thought that was just incredible. Not only that you have it, but that you continue to get the highest level of award every single year, even though you've made the lifetime. So talk a little bit about what you do.
Well, it just depends. I think I have to mention that when I grew up years ago, the world was very different than it is now. And neighbors relied on neighbors. And so I was brought up with the idea that every day I should ask myself, what have you done today to pay the rent on the space you occupy on Earth? And it just became second nature that we needed each other in those days. Nowadays, you don't. You've got the hand thing. But when I came to Greenspring, it was just an extension of being part of the community. And I think different people do different things simply because you talked about what their passions are. Now, I started out doing some silly kinds of things. When I first came here, I wanted to see the R-rated movie Chicago. And they were only showing G movies. And so I thought, what the heck, let's see what we can do. So I went out and got in Chicago, and I started Offbeat Cinema on Thursday. And so then I would show offbeat movies every Thursday. So that was a simple thing. Then it got more complicated as I was involved with activities at Greenspring and on the council. One of the things we wanted to do was we questioned why we had no Medicaid beds. And it was extremely important for a program that has residents who age in place. So because I've been active elsewhere in that sort of activity, I organized some people here at Greenspring. We had 300 volunteers, and we got involved politically.
Wow. And
we worked with Vivian Watts, and pretty soon we had passed the Medicaid bill for Greenspring.
Wow.
So you never know. I want to say to people that it doesn't have to be that dramatic. When we started out, it was just one little thing we were asking questions. Well, like another thing with Vivian Watts that I've mentioned before is she also saw to it that we could bring our wine to the dining room, which hadn't been allowed because restaurants don't allow you to bring your own wine. But so you can do all kinds of things, you know, and I also learned that as I got older, I couldn't do what I used to do, but I found out that if I did nothing, that wasn't worth it either. So I say to people, just do every little bit adds up to somebody else's little bit, and pretty soon you've really got a success going.
Well, that is a great piece, and I think that also rolls in perfectly to what Joe does. I want to talk about you now, Joe. Joe, I know a lot of your hours go to helping people directly. You help people who maybe don't know how to use their technology. Maybe they don't know how to use their computers, iPads. you name it, you're kind of the go-to
I'll try
guy.
to help with whatever I can.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about what you do.
Well, just the various products that they have, electronic products. I don't know a lot about all of it, but I somehow can get them working for them and get them satisfied that they know how to take care of it from there on. And I help with, when we had the flood, I helped people move, and I took some people to the hospital and just various things.
So you're kind of like the neighborhood handyman.
I guess.
If you have a problem, call Joe. I know Joe and I worked together. I had a resident who didn't know how to use her iPad. We couldn't get a certain app on the iPad. And I was trying. So I said, I'll call Joe. Joe immediately was able to come over, meet with me, and he, of course, solved it. He didn't know. You don't know everything, but you're willing to give it a try. So that's nice to know that you don't claim to be an expert, but if you need help, you're willing to be there and try.
I'll give it a stab and hope for the best.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And you volunteer a lot of hours doing that.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, I'll go to you now, Carla. You are is it the leader of the treasure chest?
Yeah, I call it manager. Co-manager.
Co-manager.
Yeah, Chuck and I moved in about 3.5 years ago, and the weekend after we moved in, the Monday morning, I went down to the treasure chest because I knew as soon as I heard about that, that was my thing. So I'm bringing up the rear as a one-trick pony. So Monday morning, I went over and I talked with Joan Wamsley and Marge Anderson in the furniture store, and they said, "Oh, come and work with us." So Tuesday, I was down there. I've been there ever since. So just over a year ago, I became manager, co-manager with Pam Walkup. So there's two of us now, which we really need. And of course, the treasure chest is our on-campus thrift store, which is located in the town center neighborhood in Parkview, lowest level, which is across from Garden Ridge. And there's two things that make it tremendously successful. The first thing is all of the donations made by the generous folks here that live here at Greenspring and make the donations, and we collect them. Monday morning is the big collection in the centers, but we also accept things Tuesday and Wednesday mornings working down there. The second thing that makes the treasure chest so successful is that more than 150 volunteers that donate their time and their talents. So it's everything from collections to sorting to pricing to staging to sales to estate sales in apartments to cleaning out apartments when the need arises, all sorts of things, to checking things to see if they work, to repairing things. Even this morning, Dan Chrisman took a beautiful old cabinet out of the furniture store to be repaired in the wood shop. So there's a lot of people that help make the treasure chest successful, and it's exciting and it's fun. And our volunteers are extremely talented and very dedicated. Some people only work 2 hours a month. Other people work 8 hours a week. And there's lots of things that have to be done to make a business work. And we love our volunteers. They're wonderful.
Absolutely. The treasure chest, like you said, about 150 volunteers, the amount of work put in, and then also the money that you're giving back to the community by having this treasure chest is just amazing. It's just
in 2017, we made $86,000. All of the money goes back into the community. It goes to benevolent care, scholarship fund, and staff appreciation, as well as $1,000 we give to the fire department, because as you know, they're always here.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And literally, we have very limited expenses because a lot of what we need, we actually get from donations, things like Scotch tape and paper and things like that. So we don't even have many expenses. We are a 501c3, so there are no taxes. And thanks to the support of the philanthropy department and Kimberly Nelson, we are running quite smoothly right now. And since the 6th week shutdown for our flu, and we've just gotten huge, huge contributions. I think people spent a lot of time cleaning out their apartments.
Yes, they did.
Now we appreciate it. Yeah, it's been great.
Now, are you looking for more volunteers? If somebody's watching this program, can they get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Either come down and see us in the treasure chest or call. Our number's on the scroll all the time.
Oh, great.
Yeah, both Pam and my numbers are on the scroll.
Great.
We always, there are always people who are going on vacations, who have to have some sort of an operation, or for one or other reason are not able to continue with help. So we always need new volunteers.
Great.
It's lifeblood.
Great. So if you're interested, go down to the treasure chest. They could use your help. Okay, before we have to wrap up here, guys, I want to get just one quote from you. If there's a reason why you volunteer or why you continue to volunteer, or whatever it is, why do you do what you're doing? I'll start with you, Dr. Sorensen.
Well, this isn't quite an answer to what you asked, but I wanted to comment that if you are volunteering off the campus and have not been reporting these hours, that is extremely important because the IRS looks at our 501c3 status.
Correct.
And while the hours that we donate to our own environment are extremely important, they look at the hours you give back to the community that has granted you your 501c3. So please, don't be modest. Let us know what you're doing.
That's great. Yes, thank you. Joe, how about you?
I'm just happy to help people that use the product they pay so much money for and enjoy being able to use it again.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And Carla? I want Greenspring to be the #1 Erickson community. We have the size, we have the talent, we have the intelligence, and we have amazing activities here. I will do anything I can as long as I'm able to move Greenspring up to the Erickson #1 community. That's what I want, and we can do it here. I know we can.
Hey, I love that, and I can't agree more.
We used to be.
I bet we were.
And we can keep it
we
going.
Absolutely can, and it's volunteers that make a huge difference in this community.
And I've seen it firsthand. I was in community resources before, seeing all the work that the volunteers do, but it is inspirational. This community is so alive with the things that we're doing. And even Dr. Sorensen, you didn't even get to mention it. I know you're doing so many things, but even helping us with safety and helping us, park our rollators in the right spot. Things that you don't think about that a volunteer would do, you're doing, which is all of you. So that's really incredible. And I hope that you all keep it up, and I hope everyone here who's watching the show will keep up volunteering, because we're doing a lot of great things on this campus.
It makes us smile too.
Yeah.
And it's thanks to you, Kelly, for all the work that you do. Huge.
I just get to show up. All the work gets done by you guys. I just, I show up.
Moderator.
Yeah.
That's great.
But so I hope you all can join us for these volunteer weeks events that we have coming up. We have the walk, we have the Alzheimer's presentation, and we have the finale ceremony. So I hope everybody can make it out.
As long as there's food, we'll come.
Yep.
There's cake. Come on. And so everybody watching the show, if you see these few folks in the hall, just make sure to shake their hand and say thank you for all you're doing. And then if you are a volunteer, please put on your volunteer badge for the week, at least for the week, to show off and say that I am a volunteer on campus and I turn in my hours. Our staff members, they all are aware of this. So if you're wearing the badge, please put it on for the week at least, so people can thank you for what you do.